Imagine being one of the most electrifying basketball players in the country, only to be left off the biggest stage, the Olympic team. Caitlin Clark, the NCAA sensation, was passed over, sparking outrage and disbelief. Now with Team USA standing tall, gold medals around their necks, the debate is far from over. Did the team just prove they didn't need her, or was it a missed opportunity to elevate the game to new heights? The answer might surprise you as we dive into the media frenzy and fan reactions that continue to swirl around this controversial decision. The decision to exclude Caitlin Clark from the 2024 Olympic roster has fueled one of the most heated debates in recent sports history. Fans and analysts alike were quick to express their views, with opinions ranging from outrage to understanding. As the dust settles and Team USA celebrates their gold medal victory, the question remains: was leaving Caitlin Clark off the team the right decision? From the moment the roster was announced, the media was abuzz with speculation. ESPN's Linda Cohn was among the first to voice her disappointment, calling it a lost opportunity to showcase one of the most exciting talents in women's basketball. Cohn argued that Clark's inclusion could have helped draw more attention to the sport, potentially attracting a broader audience. She wasn't alone. Many commentators echoed her sentiment, believing that the decision to leave Clark off the team was short-sighted and possibly detrimental to the growth of the game. On the other hand, there were those who supported the decision, pointing to the strength of the veteran-laden roster. Analysts like Doris Burke emphasized the importance of experience in the Olympics, noting that players like Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner have been through the rigors of international competition and know what it takes to win. According to these supporters, the decision to rely on seasoned veterans was a strategic move that ultimately paid off. However, not everyone was convinced. Critics like Mike Lupica were outspoken in their criticism, describing the decision as monumentally dumb. Lupica and others argued that the rationale behind Clark's exclusion, concerns about how her fan base might react to limited playing time, undermined the competitive spirit of the Olympics. They contended that the best players should be on the court, regardless of potential off-court distractions. As Team USA began their Olympic campaign, the debate only intensified. Social media was flooded with posts from fans expressing their support for Clark. Many praised her for her resilience and positive attitude, even in the face of such a high-profile snub. These fans highlighted her potential to draw attention to women's basketball and lamented the missed opportunity to see her on the world stage. But as the tournament progressed, the focus shifted to the team's performance. Team USA's depth was on full display, with different players stepping up in key moments. The semifinal against Australia was a prime example, where bench players like Arike Ogunbowale and Chelsea Gray played crucial roles in securing the victory. The team's balance and adaptability were evident, and it became clear that the decision to leave Caitlin Clark off the roster was not made lightly. One of the key factors in Team USA's success was their defense. Throughout the tournament, they held opponents to historically low shooting percentages, using a mix of zone and man-to-man schemes that kept even the best international players in check. This level of defensive excellence requires not just talent, but also years of playing together, something that a newcomer like Clark, for all her scoring ability, might have struggled to fit into. The gold medal game against France further validated the team's strategy, with Brianna Stewart dominating the paint and Aja Wilson stretching the defense with her shooting. Team USA controlled the game from start to finish. Even when France made a late push, cutting the lead to single digits, the composure and experience of Team USA shone through. It's hard to imagine how adding Clark to this mix would have improved their performance. In fact, it might have disrupted the carefully calibrated balance that the team had achieved. As the final buzzer sounded and the gold medals were draped around the players' necks, the media reaction began to shift. Those who had initially criticized the decision started to reconsider their positions. The overwhelming success of Team USA without Caitlin Clark suggested that the selection committee had made the right call, prioritizing team chemistry and experience over individual brilliance. Yet the debate didn't end there. The media continued to discuss the implications of Clark's exclusion, with some commentators still lamenting the lost opportunity to elevate the sport. ESPN's Michael Wilbon noted that while the team's success was undeniable, the decision to leave Clark off the roster might have cost the sport a chance to capture a new audience. He pointed out that Clark's style of play has a unique appeal, particularly to younger fans, and her absence from the Olympics could have been a setback in efforts to grow the game globally. Fans, too, remained divided. While many celebrated Team USA's victory, others couldn't help but wonder what might have been. Social media was filled with posts speculating on how the team would have performed with Clark on the roster. Some fans even suggested that her presence could have made the difference in certain tight games, offering another offensive weapon in crunch time. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect of this story is what it means for Caitlin Clark's future. Despite the snub, she has remained positive, viewing the experience as motivation to improve and eventually earn her place on the Olympic stage. In interviews, Clark has expressed her determination to work harder and refine her game, with the goal of making the 2028 Olympic team. This outlook has resonated with fans and analysts alike, who see Clark's resilience as a testament to her character. Many believe that this setback will only fuel her drive to succeed, and that her time will come sooner rather than later. In fact, some commentators have gone as far as to predict that the next Olympic cycle will be built around players like Clark, who represent the future of women's basketball. As the narrative surrounding Team USA's Olympic win continues to evolve, one thing is clear: Caitlin Clark's story is far from over. While the decision to leave her off the 2024 roster may have been the right one for the team, it has also set the stage for a compelling redemption arc. Fans and analysts alike are eager to see how Clark will respond, and whether this experience will propel her to even greater heights. In the end, the debate over Caitlin Clark's exclusion from the Olympic team highlights the complexities of building a winning team at the highest level. It's a reminder that sometimes tough decisions need to be made, and that success in sports is rarely as straightforward as it seems. But it also underscores the potential for growth and redemption, as players like Clark use these moments to fuel their journey to the top. But here's the real question: what's next for Caitlin Clark? Will she use this snub as motivation to become the leader that Team USA can't afford to leave behind? Or will this setback mark a turning point in a different direction? The world will be watching closely as she takes her next steps, and you won't want to miss what happens next. Make sure to stay tuned, because Caitlin Clark's story is far from over, and the next chapter could be the most explosive one yet.
Angel's tremendous player. I have nothing but respect for her. I love her game. The way she rebounds the ball, scores the ball is absolutely incredible.
In sports, rivalries are what legends are made of. But when two of the biggest stars in women's basketball collide, it's more than just a game. It's a cultural moment. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have turned the basketball court into a stage where respect, rivalry, and raw emotion play out in real time. Today, we're diving into the story behind their explosive encounters, the double standards in sports, and how this rivalry is redefining women's basketball. The rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese isn't just a clash of two talented athletes. It's a narrative that has captivated millions, bringing attention to women's basketball like never before. Their story reached a fever pitch during the 2023 NCAA National Championship game, a game that would become a defining moment not just for the players, but for the sport itself. As the game unfolded, LSU was on a mission, and Angel Reese was leading the charge. The Tigers were on the brink of claiming their first national title, and with each passing minute, the tension escalated. But what truly set this game apart was what happened in the final moments. With victory all but secured, Angel Reese turned to Caitlin Clark and made a gesture that would be replayed and debated endlessly. A "you can't see me" hand wave, followed by pointing to her ring finger, signifying the championship ring she was about to win. This taunting gesture quickly became iconic, symbolizing the fierce competitiveness that defines both Reese and Clark. However, it also sparked a heated debate about sportsmanship. Critics were quick to label Reese's actions as unsportsmanlike, while others saw it as a natural part of the competitive spirit.
My issue with Reese is that she followed Caitlin Clark around the floor. The game was over. Caitlin Clark is walking off, and Reese is trying to catch up to her to wave in her face and point at her finger. And Do you feel better about yourself now?
But then Caitlin Clark did something unexpected. She defended her rival.
I don't think Angel should be criticized at all. No matter which way it goes, she should never be criticized for what she did. I'm just one that competes, and she competed. So I think everybody knew there was going to be a little trash talk in the entire tournament.
Clark's defense of Reese was a powerful statement, one that underscored the mutual respect between these two athletes, despite the heated moments on the court. But Clark didn't stop there. She also addressed a broader issue that has long plagued women's sports: the double standard in how emotional expression and trash talk are perceived. Clark pointed out that while trash talk has always been a part of men's basketball, it's often criticized or downplayed in the women's game.
I think men have always had trash talk. That's what it's been, and I think more and more people, as they turn on the game, they're appreciating it for what it is.
Clark's comments highlighted a significant cultural shift. As women's basketball continues to grow in popularity, with more eyes on the game than ever before, the acceptance of competitive banter and emotional expression is becoming more normalized. Clark herself embodies this change, as she's known for wearing her emotions on her sleeve and competing with intensity.
I'm just lucky enough that I get to play this game and have emotion and wear it on my sleeves, and so does everybody else. So that should never be torn down. That should never, be criticized, because I believe that's what makes this game so fun. That's what draws people to this game.
She explained. This conversation around the double standard in trash talk and emotional expression is crucial, not just for Clark and Reese, but for all women athletes. It challenges the outdated notion that women should compete in a certain way, quietly, respectfully, and without the bravado often celebrated in men's sports. Clark and Reese are redefining what it means to be a competitive female athlete, showing that intensity, passion, and yes, even trash talk have a place in women's basketball. The 2023 NCAA championship wasn't just a game, it was a cultural moment. With an average of 9.9 million viewers and a peak at 12.6 million, the game drew unprecedented attention, solidifying the growing popularity of women's basketball. The rivalry between Clark and Reese, combined with the dramatic moments on the court, played a significant role in this viewership spike, making it a landmark event in sports history. But this story didn't end with the final buzzer of that championship game. The rivalry between Clark and Reese carried over into the 2024 NCAA tournament, where the two faced off again in the Elite Eight. This time it was Clark's Iowa team that came out on top, defeating Reese's LSU in a highly anticipated rematch. The competitive spirit was on full display, with both players showcasing their incredible skills and determination. And as they transitioned into the WNBA, the rivalry only intensified. In June 2024, Clark and Reese met on the professional stage, with Reese now playing for the Chicago Sky and Clark for the Indiana Fever. The game was close, with the Sky narrowly defeating the Fever, but it wasn't just the scoreline that had people talking. It was the moments of tension and intensity, like when Reese clapped after a foul on Clark, reminding everyone that this rivalry was far from over. Despite the on-court drama, both Clark and Reese have consistently emphasized that their rivalry is purely competitive. Off the court, they share a mutual respect that transcends the game.
Angel's tremendous player. I have nothing but respect for her. I love her game. The way she rebounds the ball, scores the ball, is absolutely incredible.
Clark said, praising Reese's ability to dominate the boards and score at will. This respect is a crucial part of what makes their rivalry so compelling. It's not about hatred or animosity. It's about two athletes pushing each other to be better, challenging each other on the biggest stages, and in the process, bringing more attention to the sport they love. As we look ahead, the future of this rivalry is bright. With more WNBA matchups to come and the possibility of future NCAA encounters, the story of Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese is far from finished. Their rivalry is more than just a headline. It's a testament to the evolution of women's basketball, the breaking down of gender stereotypes, and the celebration of competitive spirit in its purest form. So, what's next for Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese? Will their rivalry continue to define women's basketball, or will new stars emerge to challenge their dominance? One thing's for sure, this is a story that's still being written, and we're all on the edge of our seats waiting to see what happens next. Stay tuned, because the next chapter in this rivalry is bound to be just as explosive as the last.